What's going on, y'all? Oh, shoot, let me close this door. So, this is going to be a part 2 of a video part 2 of a series, really, of videos that I've wanted to make. And if you have not watched my part 1 of my Publix experience, please go watch that one. You don't necessarily have to have watched that one before you watch this one, but I'd still appreciate you watching. Alright, so this video is going to be part 2. I'm going to talk about some customer experiences, and just mainly for this video, I'm going to talk about good ones. As far as bad ones, I'm sure there are some. I really just don't like to focus too much on the negative stuff, but if you're watching this and you want to hear about some negative ones, I don't have any notes on the bad ones right now, but I'm sure I can remember some. I know there's at least a couple of negative ones that I can think of. Right. But this is going to be positive ones. Good customer encounters. So we'll start with my very first day at the Publix. Okay. So I'll actually give you a little bit of background. So I mentioned in my first video, I got this job there, and I went to an orientation. And the orientation, it's like from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. It's kind of an all-day thing. They give lunch, things like that. And they teach the history of the company, some procedures, not all of them. I mean, there's more specific training is done at, your store. I didn't do this at my store. It was at the Columbus, Georgia, Bradley Park store. It was there. So, at the Bradley Park store, me and a few other people who were just starting off, I think that light bulb just went out. Oh well. We were just starting out with our jobs. I think my first day was the day after. Yeah, the day after that was my first day working at the Publix. And so I got started there. I was actually only scheduled to come in at 2. Yeah, 2 o'clock p.m. But I was sleeping and I had a missed call and a voicemail. And it was from the assistant customer service manager. And he was saying, hey, if we'd like you for you to come in and do some computer training at noon. And that was some online computer-based training, CBT. And that's something that I did kind of throughout my time there. It's not like you do it the first day or the first week and then that's it. There's always something at different times that everybody goes and does. So about every 6 weeks, maybe, I would have a CBT to do, I think. But this particular day, I had a few to start off with. I don't remember exactly what they were. I just know I had them. And so he said, if you're able to, just come on. And as I mentioned in the previous video, if I try to call them back, it leads to an automated voice menu, which I don't like dealing with. So I just went on. And my family was at church. So I didn't see my family again till that late that night. Because at this point, the store was closing at 8. The store closes usually at 10. They were closing at 8 because of all the health concerns to give people extra time to clean things. 8, a few months later, they pushed it back to 9, and then eventually they were able to push it back to 10 o'clock closing time. And so that's what it was for my first bit of time there. I got done with the CBTs I had to do that day. And then one of the customer service staff started training me on bagging. And it's on the job training, there's not a special place that you go to train. I was there, these are customers that are being checked out at the register, and she's telling me how you could put these items with these, cold with cold, raw meat with raw meat. You don't want to mix this, don't want to mix that. You kind of, sort of like Tetris, where you try to fit it all in the same bag, but you don't want to overload it. If it has a handle, you don't put it in a bag, although sometimes the customer may want it, in which case, yeah, sure, why not? You can do that, because it's always about the customer. Publix is always customer service first. And so I think it was a good position for me, a good place for me to work, because that's kind of how I am. I like to serve and help other people. That's what I like to do. I know it makes me feel good whenever I help somebody else. So there were several instances when I was there that I know I would feel good. So, hey, I just helped this person out. So this first day, I did a few rounds of bagging with this lady who was training me, and eventually she kind of had me doing it on my own. And I did that. I mean, and it got to the point, a few weeks would go by, and I would just, I'd clock in, go out there, find the first register I see that didn't have anybody bagging. I'd just go there and, hey, how you doing? How you doing? It became second nature. In fact, I could probably go back right now. I may need a couple of reminders, but I could probably do just fine. So I'd bag, and of course, they always say, what I would used to say was, hey, I could take this out for you if you'd like. Now, at one point, during, I think, the second third of my time there, my customer service manager actually told me, so, hey, if you say, I can take this out for you if you'd like, that it almost implies that I don't necessarily want to do it, but if you want me to do it, then I will. They're kind of particular on language because, they want to make sure that they know it's your pleasure, which I get. So he said, you can just say, I'd be happy to take this out for you. And so I changed that. At one point, I said, hey, I'd be happy to take this out for you. And he said, no, I'm good. You sure? And I was like, all right, you have a great day. Simple stuff like that. So I was able, as time went by, I adjusted more and more and more and became more and more efficient. I felt like. And yeah, so it worked out. But this first day, there were a few customers that I had taken their groceries out. I would say, hey, did you find everything you were looking for? And for some, when I was walking out there, I didn't want it to just be awkward silence. So I figured, well, I'll say something. That's just the first thing I thought of in my head. Hey, did you find everything you're looking for? And it stuck. So every time I would take somebody out, I would ask them that. We'd get outside, headed to their car, we'd get on the cement, and then I'd ask them, did you find everything you're looking for? And then most of the time, I was like, oh, yeah, I did. It was good. Every now and then, they would say, hey, I was looking for this. I was looking for that. And then I would carry... Oh, do I still have it? Oh, I do. think this is it right here. Maybe I can make a separate video about this. But I would keep this notebook where I could write down different things that customers said they couldn't find. And then I could report back to a manager, say, hey, customer was looking for this, and they could say, oh, well, yeah, we're getting more of those in, or yeah, we're not getting those anymore, or those discontinued, or they'd say, all right, thanks, I'll do something with it. Now, before I got this, I would just come inside and I'd ask for a sheet of paper and a pen, and I'd write it down. But then eventually I just got this, so I would carry this around with a pen, and so sometimes I would go out there, and they say find everything you're looking for, and customers say, no, I was looking for this and that, I couldn't find it. I said, all right, well, yeah, what is it? That. Okay, I'll talk to somebody about it, and probably make them feel really good. So hey, it's being recorded, and this guy says he's gonna do something about it, and I would always ask about it. And I don't know if anybody else did that. It was actually the idea of my store manager saying I could write stuff down like that. He probably told other people that, but I wonder if anybody else ever actually did. I don't think I ever saw anybody do it. But it doesn't mean that it didn't happen. And yeah, getting a little off subject. Positive customer experiences. So I'm taking out, this is still my first day, taking a family of 4 out and pushing the cart. I ask, did you find everything you were looking for? Of course. And this is kind of, I guess it's kind of funny, I don't know. But typically I hear, yeah, I did, yeah, I found this, or hey, I was actually looking for this, or that. But ask the man of the family, hey, did you find everything you're looking for? And he just said, no. I wasn't expecting that. And this is still my first day. I don't know what to do. I didn't have that notebook. I didn't start the notebook thing till months later. I didn't know what, I was like, what? So I said, well, okay. So I asked him what he couldn't find, and he listed up. I don't remember what he said, but couldn't find this, or a few items that he just listed off that he couldn't find. I forget I think I apologized to him. So I'm sorry you couldn't find that, because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what I could do, if anything. My first day. He wasn't mad or anything. It was just flat, nothing special. So, we get there, and I'm putting some groceries. I think some of them in the back of the car. It's kind of a big SUV. But some of them in the back, and then some of them in the back seat of the car. Kind of spread them out a little bit, because I think it was a decent bit of groceries. And I close the door once I'm done. And man's still standing there. I'm probably just, thinking he's going to greet me and then go on. Man's just standing there. He's waiting for me. And I close the door. And he hands me a folded up stack of $1 bills. And it's $4, 4 $1 bills. So this was my first tip. And I want to go back to that background that I was talking about. During that orientation, not once in orientation, in training, and not even in a CBT until a few weeks or months later, was there ever any mention of tips. Not even a mention. Nobody even asked either. Say, can we take tips? Or no, we addressed tips. It was just never talked about. And so, once again, I didn't know what to do. So he gets to me, and I figure the right thing to do is to decline. So I did. I said, "Oh, that's not necessary. It's fine." And he said, "No, go ahead, go ahead." And so in the end, I took it, and I said, "Hey, well, thank you. Come back and see us." I always would end with that. Thank you. Come back and see us. Get him to come back. And so that was my first tip, $4. And I know a few times while I was working there, my mother would say, "Hey, you should keep a log of what you get in your tips, just to see how much you're getting, because that could be kind of a supplementary income." And I never did that. I kind of wish I had, because I bet that would have been interesting to look at. If I ever go back, I may do that. So, now that's one that definitely comes to mind, especially when we're talking about tips. Is that one right there? So it's like, man really had no incentive to tip me, because it's my job to take the groceries out, and he didn't find everything he was looking for. Although it wasn't my fault he couldn't find it. But then he tipped me anyway. It was $4, which is a fairly decent tip there. Most of the time, $1, $2. But sometimes you'll get a 5. Sometimes you'll get a 5. And I think I've gotten a 10. I think there may have been once, maybe twice, that I got a 20. Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember. I wish I remembered more, but this was back in 2020, and now it's 2023. Let's see. So another positive experience with a customer. Taking a man out, and we're going to the far. If you're looking at the store, well, no, if you're walking out of the store, we're going to the far right, toward where is today the UPS store is, where the Hairmasters used to be. I mentioned that in the last video as well. I went that direction because that's where the man's car was. He was parked right next to a cart return. And so I take it out, take all the groceries out, and the man's about to get in his car when he pulls out his wallet, and he says, "Make sure you clean the cart before you leave." And as he's doing it, he throws a 5 into the cart. So this is one, again, I didn't know what to do. It's like, I don't know how to decline this tip. I guess I could just say, "Oh, that's not necessary," something like that. Just, the creative tips are the ones that are hard to decline. That's something that I noticed. Of course, it didn't happen that often. The creative ones. And there's another creative one I'm going to tell you about a little later. This is one of them. And so I just took it. I just grabbed it. I cleaned the cart, I guess. And so I kind of nodded my head, understanding. As he was nodding his, I kind of nodded mine. I said, "All right, well, thank you. Come back and see us." So that was interesting. There was a regular customer that would always use one of the motorized riding shopping carts. You can kind of sit on and, ride in the store. And when we have a customer who is in one of those, somebody would always walk out with them, so that then we could return the motorized cart back into the store and plug it up to charge it. And so that was interesting. But this one guy, he always parked around the same place, kind of in the middle of the parking lot, up close to the front of the store. And I'd walk out and I'd ask him if he found everything he was looking for. There was one time he was looking for this Breyers ice cream that he couldn't find, and I put out my cell phone to look it up, and apparently the customer service staff person that was kind of in charge at the time told one of my front service clerk coworkers, "Hey, watch Samuel. He was on his phone with a customer out there." And so then that girl came and told me what she just been told. I was like, "Oh no, I was looking up a product for the customer." Yeah, it's not like I'm out there playing Angry Birds. Like, "Hey, did you find everything you're looking for?" "Oh, dang it, I didn't get that one. Dang it, hold on, let me get this last pick, I never did that, not once. If I ever needed to use the cell phone, I would either go into the break room, go into the back, or go kind of to the side of the store where nobody's at. Like, well, outside, into the side of the store where nobody's at. I would always do that if I needed to use the phone. Or I'd just wait till break. I'll wait till I get off. But this one particular customer, I would walk out with him. And this would be for anybody that would walk out with him, but I know for me, yeah, I remember it happening. I would start to open up the truck and put groceries in, because he always had this red pickup truck, kind of an older one. And every time, without fail, I mean, maybe there was one time that he didn't, but I'm not sure. I think it was every time. He would have a $5 bill, kind of run his fingers over like that, and say, "Here, put that in your piggy bank." Every time. Every time, and he was a regular. So there was at least one time that I knew he was in there. And I tried to make sure that I was at the register that he would check out. But of course, I didn't do that very often at all, because no, that's not the right mindset. I was like, "Oh, I know this guy's gonna tip, so I'm gonna get his. I'm not gonna do that. That's not right." And so I was always, "Oh, that's not necessary," and he would always make sure I got it. There was even one time I said, "Oh, you don't have to do that." And he said, I know the only things I gotta do are die and pay taxes." There was even one time, it was only a couple days ago, he had been there, and then he had come back a couple days later, and I was taking him out again, and I said, "Oh, you gave me one a couple days ago." He said, "I'm gonna give you another one." He said something like, "I got more money than I do time to spend it all." Well, that okay. There was, speaking of the writing cards, there was a regular customer who, he didn't usually tip, but there was this one time he did, where I was bagging and this other girl was the cashier, and I forget exactly what we did for this man. I wonder if we helped him find a product or if we helped him exchange something. I don't remember. I don't even remember if we exactly accomplished what he needed accomplished. Because, we're not always able to get done everything that customer wants. But we do our absolute best. And this one guy I was taking him out, because we always do that with the people riding the motorized carts. And this is kind of at dusk, so it's kind of dark. We get into his car, and he started reaching his wallet and said, "Here, give you a little tip." I said, "Oh, no, that's not necessary." And he just kept on digging in his wallet, something like that. And he pulled out 5 or a 10. I think it was a 5. He said, "Here, split that between you and the young lady." Talking about the cashier. I said, "Oh, that's not necessary." He said, "No, you know." He said he appreciated how, we're always so patient, so nice. And he also said that, said to me, "You look honest." So, okay. So I wonder what about me makes me look honest. I mean, are my eyes the perfect proportion to where, ooh, I look honest? Are my nostrils flared at just the right point? I don't know. But then, so later, I got off, clocked out, and I went to buy something, and I went in that girl's cashier lane. And I said, "Hey, the guy told us to split this one." And she said, "No, I just keep it." So I did. Let's see. There was this another day when it was kind of dark outside. There was this lady who came in, and she was having to plan this birthday party on short notice. And so she walked in, and just happened to be there. I greeted her, said, "Hey, how you doing?" And she was kind of talking about all this stuff. So, and she had a few things that she needed. So essentially, what ended up happening was I went with her everywhere to find everything that she needed for the birthday stuff. It was some candles, maybe a cake, I think a card too, maybe one or two other things. And then got her into the checkout lane. I bagged her stuff, took her stuff outside, and then she said she wanted to speak to a manager. Well, I said, I remembered that none of our managers, our store manager wasn't there, and there weren't any of my managers there. And so, she said she wanted to call the store and say how helpful I was. And I don't believe she ever did, because I never heard anything from any of my managers about that. You may think, "Oh, well, why would you hear from your managers if a customer calls and talks about you?" Well, because it happened before, a few months prior or something like that. Pouring down rain. And this lady, apparently, she had put her groceries, she'd gotten her groceries, you put them under the covering. And she went to go get her car. She was going to pull it up. She was going to get out, put her groceries in, and then leave. Well, I was going outside to see if there were any shopping carts right there that I could take in. And at the time, we were having to count how many people were coming into the store and coming out. The lady who was doing it said there was a woman who had her groceries here, and she was going to put them in there, and maybe I could help. And so I waited there. I put on one of the yellow raincoats. And she pulled up right there. And so I started opening the door. I put them all in. She never even had to get out. And she was so grateful. And she asked for my name. I showed her my name tag. Said my name is Samuel. And she said she would call the store when she got home. And she did. And I know she did because later on, I was coming back in from bringing some carts or some baskets in, and my store manager comes to me with a sheet of paper. Said, "Okay, customer called me, said you helped out with the groceries, said you went above and beyond." And whenever you get a customer compliment like that, they give you this coupon. It's for, I think, half off of a sub sandwich, or a certain amount off of a $100 purchase or something like that. So that was good. So they kind of reward you for that. And that was my second time I'd ever gotten one like that, because there was a time a couple of weeks earlier where this woman had come in, said, hey, she needed one of the motorized shopping carts for her husband that was in the car still. And so I said, okay. So I went and got one. And she was just thinking, okay, she'll find one, she'll take it out to him. Well, no, I took it out there to him. I made sure he got in, and I walked with him as he, got to the front of the store from the outside. And then the woman was just, she was so grateful, thanking me so many times. She said if it wasn't for all the stuff going on, because remember, this is right in the middle of the virus. She said if it wasn't for all that, she would have given me a hug. But then, later on, I think as they were about to leave or something like that, my assistant customer service manager comes, gives me one of them coupons, and says, yeah, this lady said that you helped her husband out. She said she really appreciated it. So, that was the first time I'd ever gotten one of those. I think I may... Do I still have one of those? Yeah. This is what they looked like right here. So, it was... There you go. So, it was a $5 off purchase for $25 more or free Publix Deli half sub. And then it kind of says what I did. This is when I really needed to clean a restroom because there was a mess made in the bathroom and I cleaned it up. And so he gave me this. My store manager gave me that. Let's see. Staying later to cover a shortage in this department. Did I do that? This is, I stayed later to cover a shortage in the department, December 10th. I'm trying to remember when I did that. Because I don't remember working in the other department. I wonder if that was produce when I was helping out with floral stuff. Or if maybe it was a time when I was kind of in the back of the bakery doing something. I don't remember. But this is the one that I was given when I helped out that customer in the rain. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be showing this to you. I don't see why I couldn't. Okay, and here's the back of it, in case you want to see that. Get my customers out. Get my fingers out. Okay. So that's kind of what those look like. How long is this video? Oh, 30 minutes. Yeah, I'm going to have to make a part 2 of this. A part 2 of part 2. Alright, so I apologize for this being so long. If y'all want to see more of this stuff, definitely let me know, alright? I'll see y'all next time.